Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it is Sunday, and therefore we are talking about coping with stress. Now, as you will see, I am not inside the cupboard today. um, because one of my accomplishments of the week was to do this for you guys. I know you've been waiting for me to get the horn put back up again and the horse brasses. And this is a very old sharpening stone. You sharpen knives on, and all part of my history back in England. Now, it does rather look like I'm a puppet, doesn't it? We can cope with that. There we go. All right, so hang on. Nearly cope with that. And it's rather sad because if I sit where I normally sit, obviously you're not going to see it. So maybe next time I will sit over here, sit a bit more so that you can see it better. Too much organizing for today. All right, so very big hello to all of you. And today I'm talking about coping with stress. I've had, again, more than my fair share this week, so I thought that we would talk about some more. But also this weekend, I've been trying to concentrate a little bit on going more slowly. And that's the quotes today again will be about taking your time about things. And, the reason is because it's an old African saying, and it says, slowly, slowly catch the monkey. And, one of the things that I'm pretty sure you all know is I am trying to unpack a house for the second time in a year because my house caught fire just after I finished unpacking it the first time, or nearly unpacking it. I hadn't actually finished. And, it's like coping with the stress of that actually is more frightening than I care to think about. But there's a nice Chinese proverb that says, be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid of standing still. Think about that. Be not afraid of growing slowly, rather be afraid of standing still. So as the regular viewers know, I am working on just doing a little bit every day. And I couldn't understand why I was feeling so tired on Friday. And I do apologize for needing to cancel the Friday evening broadcast. I got what they call an ocular migraine. That's when your vision splits. And if you've ever seen a prism when you're looking through a cut glass or something, that happens to me in my vision. Where literally it's like it splits in two, and it's a little bit scary when you don't know what it is. And I must admit that I know that if I get it, I need to stop and lie down and rest and do whatever I can to just keep calm for a few days. So today I am feeling not 100%, but certainly well enough to just put this together for you. And so my thoughts and prayers are with you all. I wanted to give a heads up. Jody has not been well. I'm not sure if she will be here for the broadcast today or not. She's really been struggling with a lot of things. So thoughts and prayers for her. And by the way, just before I came onto the broadcast, Chris was kind enough to let me know that his daddy has fully recovered from COVID. Well, he's saying that he just needs his second check on that on Tuesday. His first test that they did was negative on Thursday. So now they're going to test him again on Tuesday. And if he, tests negative again, then he is free and clear. And boy, am I glad to hear that. Chris, thank you so much for letting me know. And I would like to say that it's been interesting to me in terms of, even though I was not feeling 100%, what did I still do? And one of the things that I found myself beating up for myself for was because I didn't think I'd done enough. Story of my life, right? I didn't think I had done enough. Anybody who's ever watched Schindler's List The very last words that he said was, "I could have done so much more." And, it was just like, Anyway, part of my feedback to you on Sundays is to let you know how I'm doing with the unpacking. And if you remember, I started with so many boxes. Sorry, I've just got a note here that Jody's asking me if my chat is not advancing. Apparently it's not. Huh. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. Lots of stuff. All right, thank you. I'll get to the chit chat in a second, people. Just bear with me. Anyway, one of the things I like to do on Sundays is to let you know how I'm doing with the unpacking of the boxes. And I do need to let you know that I started with so many boxes in each room. They were above my head in each room. It's hard to believe, but I do have pictures to prove that. And they weren't just one stack. It was like 6 or 7 stacks in each room that were above my head. And I am pleased to tell you that as of today, I am box free in my bedroom. Now, in other words, I have opened up every box that was in there. I've still got some boxes on their sides that are storing stuff because I'm trying to work out where to put things. But for the first time, I have, don't have any boxes waiting to be undone. In fact, I don't have any boxes waiting to be undone in this room, which we call the fireplace room, because the fireplace is behind you. Behind me. No, in front of me. Behind the computer. So this is the fireplace area, and no boxes in my living room, no boxes in my dining room, no boxes in my kitchen, no boxes in my craft room or laundry or spare bathroom or bedroom. And the only boxes now are in the studio. And amazingly, I am down to, hold on one second. Let me just find out. I think 30 something, 34 boxes today. I counted them just beforehand, and I was over 50 something. So I've done over 20 boxes this week. So no wonder I was a bit tired. All right, let me get to the chit chat here. Hi, Jeannie, good to see you. And she says, hello, Sal, Jody, Chris, so glad your dad is better. I had him in our nightly prayers. Got Gorilla Glue today for the clothes racks. Yay, that stuff really sticks, I want to tell you. And the other thing to know that it's a bit ugly in color, just so, when it dries, it's a little bit ugly, but you can just take an X-Acto knife and just cut it off. And sometimes you can just peel off the excess, just so that you know. All right, and Jeannie's saying she's just got 6 days and counting until they move down to the hotel suite. She also had a fire in her house, and she will be moving into the hotel for a few weeks and then moving back into her house in May. That's very exciting. Well, hello to you there. It's Chris, I believe, right? Well, it's great to see you here on the live. Thank you. Izzy, good to see you. And also Jody, he apparently was there all the time, and I just the chat didn't connect. All right, let me see what else we've got here. Yeah, I think WMCNG is Chris. I'm pretty sure it's Chris. Could you just confirm that for us so that we know? So it's been a big week, and I'm tired. But like all things, have you noticed? No, Chris, I know that, Chris. It's the WMCNG ing that I think is also a Chris. Hi there, Becca. Good to see you. All right, a little bit off topic, but Becca's asking, is there anybody going to be watching the Oscars? So while I'm just gearing up for the next section, perhaps you can answer that for her. Yes, Izzy, you're right. WMGNG is also the person that answers, or used to put messages up on all the casts saying that they were the first one there. Thank you for remembering that. I'm certain he'll be touched that you remember that. So am I feeling better now? Wes, yes, Wes, you're right. Wesley, you're quite right, Jody. Thank you. I knew it was short, like my brain, apparently. All right, so Jody, first of all, how are you feeling? I know it's been a really tough week for you. And I just hope that you are feeling a whole lot better. And if you care to write here what I can tell everybody, that would be awesome. Again, I want to give thanks to the very kind viewer who does thumbnails for me without my even asking, just sends them to me every now and then. And I'm just very, very grateful. All right, so let me show you what I did manage to do. It's my day, as you know, for updating you on what's happening on the gardens inside and out. And it's been quite a productive week this week. The first thing I wanted to show you was the spinach, Spandau, the first one. Is still hanging on to its seed. Can you see that? It's got all leaves getting ready to bounce, but it just does not want to let go of that seed at all. And by the way, the next one down, which is Spike the spinach, he's also doing the same thing. So I thought I'd just show you that one. It's been a while since you've seen Carrie the cabbage. Now, the reason I'm showing you this, yeah, I know, Becca. That's why I put the horn up for everybody and the horse brasses. And that was my goal for this week. It has been over a year since you've seen it. Well over a year. All right, so here's the cabbage. What I wanted to show you was what it has done just in water, no earth. Can you see it's right to that point there? I'm resting the bottom root on the side there. So that is how much it has grown already just in water. And what happens is that as it's pulling the water up, the roots are going down to get the water from lower down. Makes sense? Now, it's got to the point, and I'm so excited about this, that when I'm doing a stir fry or something, I can now take a leaf and drop it in there. That's what I've been going for, right? The same with the spinach. What I want is to have a couple of plants going so that every now and then I can grab a leaf. I got lots of pictures to show you. All right. However, what I wanted to show you was, I started growing some seeds in these mini greenhouses, and I want to tell you they work incredibly well. They're just the condiment type plastic things, and they work like a charm. You can probably see these are all baby kale, and you can see that I planted them on April the 4th, and that's just a couple of weeks ago. However, the first couple of seedlings that came up, I planted, and I put them into a toilet roll. And look how much see the tree, how big it's grown. See how beautifully they are growing. This one already has 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves and a 5th one starting. This one down here has also 5 leaves already. Was it 4? 4 leaves already. All right. And I can't see a 5th one yet, but it's obviously going to be on its way. So I think that's pretty amazing. In such a short space of time. But I know it's been growing beautifully. By the way, when the roots are strong enough that they start coming out of the toilet roll, that's when I will plant it in the garden. Because if the roots are strong enough to break through the cardboard, then they're strong enough for it to be planted. Makes sense? So I'll just take the whole thing, pick it up and drop it in. Although I will miss having it there. However, because of that, I also took 2 seedlings and put them in my hydroponic system. And there we go. Amazing how small they are by comparison. Remember, I did this about a week apart. That was all. But it's not that it's not growing healthily, because look at the roots. The roots are already, I don't know if you can see that bottom root. Where can I put it so you can see it? I'm scared of getting water on my computer. But it is literally touching the top of the rim of the glass there. So, oh, and if I turn it around for you, you can probably see the roots there are coming out beautifully. So that's amazing. All right, so I thought I'd show you that. But here is the big news, people. Where's my phone? All sorts of news from the nursery. The nursery being the, I'm starting the seedlings inside, and then I'm taking them to the nursery, which is the deck. And then from the deck, they're either going to stay there or they're going to go out into my garden. So I've got all sorts of pictures I want to show you, because it's actually exciting now. All right, first of all, I thought I'd show you, I got peas growing. Please notice along the way, I am reusing my milk jugs, and I'm going to show you different ways that I'm reusing milk jugs. But that's 3 pea pods that are growing, and I'm going to now add snap peas to my salads. Thought that was pretty good. And then, for those of you who might not have seen the broadcast on Friday, these are the bok choy that I'm growing, and these are growing from the bottom of other bok choy that I bought in, on my grocery list. I just cut off the bottoms, and they are literally growing on wet paper towel. And then there's so much more, people. This is my mixed my mixed greens that I add to my salads. I take a leaf of one of each sort of every day and throw it in my salad. And I'm just about got to the stage where they're growing fast enough that I can do that. So that's awesome. Now, here is the new experiment, because for me, it's all about the experiment. I went out to my real garden. I got this tiered garden outside. And I went to where, I don't know if you can see, but this is my rhubarb plant that's growing here very nicely. But I saw a slug going towards the strawberries. And so what I did was I decided to reuse my dryer sheets. And as you can see, I've made a perimeter of dryer sheets around my strawberries. And I then, being me, sat and watched a slug that was going towards them. And guess what? It turned around and went the other way. Yes! So then I went, okay, I've got some chard that is growing, and I just tied a paper, a dryer sheet, a used one, around there to discourage the slugs. And then, how many of you remember Lenny the leek that I grew inside? Look how healthy he is. And by the way, I harvested the top inch of him Friday, I think, for something I was cooking. So he's growing really well. But as you can see, I've also tied a dryer sheet, a used one, around him to discourage any slugs. Now, if you look carefully behind, you will see 2 things. Number one, the leeks that I was growing last year, 3 of them, are growing all on their own. And that is the worm farm that you can see right there. See that? That I still have in the garden. And if you wonder if you weren't here last year when I was doing the worm farm, I literally took a plastic coffee can, and I made big holes in it. And then I sank it into the garden. And every now and then I throw green stuff in there, and so the worms come to eat the green stuff. And there's like their private hotel of good food. It's gourmet food. And I also thought I'd show you, these are the chives that I was growing last year that just came up on their own again. Beautiful, right? So very helpful and very exciting to do. Now then, the big experiment this week is I've started to paint these are reused Tetra packs, that have, what have I had in here? It'll come to me in a second. Almond milk. Okay, so I got them with almond milk, but I decided to paint them with blackboard paint so I can write their names on and the dates. All right, so that I thought was a good idea because, we do like to keep their names. Now, here's the big experiment. This is a tomato plant in a milk jug, because what I was thinking about was, how much water do I waste watering in the garden? And I, by the way, I am trying to use recycled water this year to water my garden. I've got a rain barrel, and what I'm doing is just taking the water out of the rain barrel to water my plants. And I'm digging a little trench around them, and so I just water around the plant, not the whole garden. Anyway, so that is what I'm doing. But what I wanted to find out was, tomatoes are very thirsty. And I want to know, how many gallons of water does a tomato plant consume during its life? And I'll be letting you know. Because as the roots draw up the water and the water drops, the roots will chase the water down. And that's what hydroponics is all about. Very exciting. Now, the other change that I'm making, just so that you know, is I am trying to train myself not to drink coffee during the broadcasts. And what I'm doing instead is drinking more water. And for those of you who don't remember, what I do is I take the offcuts of my citrus, the ends of lemons or the ends of oranges or limes, and I just freeze them. And then when I want to make a new jug of water, I drop a couple of ends in there. I don't know if you can see that. And also that is a sprig of mint in there as well. And, you just leave it in there for a little while and you end up with lemon juice or orange juice. And so I thought it would be a lot healthier for me to drink water during the broadcast, but it is a bit noisy, isn't it? Never mind. We can do this. All right, let me just see here what we've got. I'm a little bit spacey today, and just please bear with me for that. I'm still not 100%, but I decided I think I'm good enough for a broadcast. We'll see. If I suddenly fade, you'll know why. Kimmy, good to see you. And for those of you who don't know, Kimmy actually got that keyboard that I have. The clunker, as I call it, and so I'm hoping that it's all working for you. And if the keyboard on your laptop stops working, don't buy a new laptop. If you've got a letter that's not working, don't buy a new laptop. Buy a new keyboard, a separate one, a wireless one. And it was funny because you will remember that my little keyboard, there it is, my little folding keyboard, this one, funny enough, after just 2 months, one of the letters stopped working on it, and they've already sent me a new one. So I just wanted to tell you the customer service on this was awesome. So I haven't thrown it away yet because I wanted to let you know. And I will have yet another connection lead. How many leads like this do you have in your house, people? Seriously, how many of these do you have? I know you need different ones for different things, but I'm beginning to get all mine in one place. And I've got a feeling I've probably got close to 100 of these things. I'll let you know when I'm at the moment, I'm hanging them up on a coat hanger. Leads like cords, yes. You can call them cords in your country. Some of us that live in other countries call them leads. So that's good, Becca. Right, Kimmy's saying, all right, Kimmy's thanking me for helping her understand the keyboard. It's different from the old one. Yes, it is different. And like everything else, it's just a case of when in doubt, read the instructions. I'm not good about reading instructions, I must say, Kimmy. Until somebody asks me a question, then I will just type it into Google and see what answer they give me. So it's good to know. Isabel, how are you doing? And how is the pandemic in your neck of the woods? Jody and Lionel had their first shots. And unfortunately, Jody, do you think that the reaction that you had was just because you got ill, or that it is an aftermath of the injection? Does your doctor know whether it was just a coincidence? Be interesting to know. And I'm sorry that, the problem that Jody has is she has lymphedema, which causes her body to swell up, especially when she is under stress. And of course, she has now got quite a flare going on, and it's very painful and uncomfortable, and also got an infection as well. So she's really struggling, but all credit to Lionel, her husband, who decided that maybe taking her out for a change of pace would be a good idea and took her out to play bingo. What fun. Kimmy, what I did, Kimmy's saying that she had the instructions for her keyboard, but not for the FN codes. I just literally Googled it, and that's where I found it. By the way, I want to tell you that I really do. There we go. I bought you, I don't know if any of you guys remember this. Oh, I think I've rubbed the name off this. I think it's called Stilla, I think. Stila. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it is. Jody knows. But they are lip things. I want to say gloss, but they're not gloss. They're matte. To the most part. But they taste of chocolate. And it's just like, it's not often when you put lipstick on and you think, oh, that tastes good. All right, so here we go. Jody's saying, I think it was because I was without a winter coat and it started snowing the day of our vaccine. And it was very windy, and I had fatigue for half a day. Yeah, you were, her arm just felt heavy for a while. Other than that, no issues on the second day. Yes, so you probably just, you were just not well. And so it's called Stilla, Becca. The make of these. Anyway, I know Jody knows all about them because when I talked about it, yeah, it's not a maybe, it definitely is Stilla. But I got a whole set of them, and I really must say that surprisingly, I really like them, and I didn't expect to like them at all. So that is pretty good. All right, so now then. You can probably understand that I am now at the stage that in terms of the unpacking or really of my house where it's beginning to feel a bit like home. I have started patching up bits that the things happened when they were doing all the moving of stuff and so forth. And what I have done is I have started touching things up again, just, because I have got the paint, and why wouldn't I? It's upsetting me enough that I actually want to just do that. There were a couple of dings on my freezer, which I just literally took some white paint and just went, yeah. The couple of dings on my washing machine, I took pictures, but they're not going to replace them for that. So I just literally took some white paint and worked with them. So that was fine. To me, when I think about what's going on, allowing myself to slow down is a real problem. When I say allowing myself to slow down, I keep thinking that I'm being lazy. Now, I'm not. And I think that's what happened to me, is that I have, pushed myself just a little bit too far. And I'm averaging about 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day without going near the Wii. That's just literally doing what I'm doing. That's what's happening. And so for those of you who know me well, I guess I could do with some support on that. Even where my goal this week was to get the horn up so that you guys could see it. Get my head out of the way. And so, it was just like, I did that. I got there. I got the television thing working. I got, for those of you who were not here on Friday, what other thing did I do that I wanted to show you? Somewhere. There we go. I got my shower. I built my shower stool. So I'm happy about that. So, and I think it looks great in there. Actually, it's in the shower itself. All right. So Becca's asked me about the marathon. Becca, 56,000 steps in a marathon, just so you know. And I've got an update on the marathon, but let me just answer your next question, which is, last week I did 44,500 without going near the Wii. That was just literally unpacking and the garden. I did 44,000. So, but my bad news is I am beginning to believe that I won't be able to enter the Vancouver Marathon. And the reason is I think I need to do either the 5K or the half marathon all in one go. And quite honestly, my body hurts me so much at the moment that I don't think I can do that. So I'm just having Doug double check for me what the story is, because, he was kind enough to give me the entrance into it. But, I could hear those of you who care about me deeply saying, Sal, don't do that to yourself. Your body's done enough. Quite honestly, that would take... that would, even to do 5K, that's about 20,000, I think. No? How many steps in 5K? Hold on a second, let me find out. I don't know what that is in American. All right, let me have a look here. It says 5 kilometers equals, about 6,500. Well, I can do 6,500 in a day, but can I do 6,500 nonstop? That is what I am a little bit concerned about. All right, so I'm still talking to Doug about it, Becca, but I still might do it. He even offered to come and walk it with me so that I didn't, wasn't aware of how far I was walking, which was really kind of him, wasn't it? Jeannie's saying, and she's going back to her house, as you know, in May, went back to our new house and saw the beautiful deep blue vanity we selected and nice looking kitchen cabinets, not yet placed, but put together. Awesome. And Kimmy's saying, I've been sick lately with my attack. Had a bad one this morning around 2 a.m. Stayed up until 6 and got up around 11. I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. Becca's saying, can you tell your tired signs? I think that's most the important part. That's an interesting one, Becca. Yes, I'm inclined to get an ocular migraine when I get overly tired. Isn't that interesting? That's a good question. I don't get them that often, but I've had quite a few just in the last month, and I think it's because I'm doing so much. All right, so that's what Jody's saying. It's about 6,000 steps to do a half to do 5K. Now, you understand that's if I'm walking. I obviously won't be running, but that's a lot of steps. That's what I do in a total day, and to do them, nonstop, just about. I don't think, quite honestly, with all that I've done this week or this month, that my body is up to it. My body is sore. And I must admit that what I have done, you remember I was saying to you, I found that where I was sitting, the angle that I was sitting at was wrong. And I've lifted up the cushions on my couch by putting comforters and things under the cushions to bring up the level. And I must admit that I am feeling a lot easier in my hips because of that. And now that I've realized that has worked so well for me, I think I'm going to buy some risers for my couch and bring my whole couch up by at least a couple of inches, just so that makes it easier. Becca's saying, in other words, can you tell that you're getting tired while you're getting tired, so as not to prolong the tired to abnormal levels? It's funny because I am inclined to go as long as I feel good, Becca. That's a good question. And as soon as I start to feel that I've had enough, I stop. But I think what happened was I did 20 boxes this week, and there was more than I normally do. And that might have been where, it was just too much bending and stretching. And I was up hanging curtains, and I was doing other things. And then I was, doing stuff on the deck, in the nursery, as I call it. I just, didn't rest enough, I don't think. Yeah, Kimmy's saying she also gets headaches from her eyes. I actually thought, quite honestly, Becca, I thought that my blood glucose was wrong. That's where it started, where I started to feel something is wrong. And I took my blood glucose and it was fine. But then the next thing was my vision split, and I went, okay, that's what's wrong. Yeah, Jeannie's saying you tell us to slow down, so you might want to follow your own advice to keep safe. Well, that's why I'm admitting it to you guys, right? But, I realize that I'm pretty certain that some of you will relate to this. I intend not to do too much, right? So I'll say, you really need to just relax, Sal. And I go, okay, I'll go and play in the nursery, and I will sit down and just quietly plant some seeds, right? Yeah, intent is good. And I don't know if any of you relate to this, but I'll be sitting there, planting seeds. And then I'll notice that, that really does look very cruddy over there. And I know it's a big job and it's going to take me at least another month to get it all tidied up. But, if I went and got the vacuum cleaner right now, I could really, make that look a lot better. And then next thing I know, I am busy cleaning up. Do any of you relate to that? And then when I've done that, I will, for some reason, think that maybe if I did this, that, and the other with this lot that's down, and then I'll be in the garden. The next thing I know is I'm in the garden and I'm playing with hosepipes. And so I've got to learn that resting means get your fat backside on a couch and turn on your television and don't move for 2 hours, or go to bed and go to sleep, which is the one that actually works best for me. Jody's saying, Sal has 2 middle names, Whirling Dervish. I do have 2 middle names, but they're not that dirty. Well, I don't feel that it's that, but I do laugh at myself every now and then. Actually, I'm getting quite warm here. I do laugh at myself a bit. I have to say that, because I don't intend to do more, and yet I do. Or I make a concentrated effort. I'm going to tidy up the kitchen now. That should take me, 15, 20 minutes. 3 hours later, I have made more mess. Do any of you relate to that? Wow. Kimmy's saying that her retina detached. Wow, that sounds so painful. The eye doctor said something about the bands of muscles that hold my eye in the socket. Wow, they detached. Right, Becca. Becca's saying, so really you're just too easily distracted by your constant need for environmental improvement. You know something? That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Becca. That's putting it in a nutshell. I'm constantly asking myself, what's the next step in this room? All right. And for example, I know that next week, the next step in my bedroom is I want to hang that big picture of the peony that you all saw when I was showing you the artwork. And that is my number one goal, is to get that picture up next week. And so every day I'm going out on the deck and trying to get it tidied up, because that is a disaster area. And I am trying to get that tidied up and get it organized. But it takes, I did a lot of vacuuming and stuff, but, every day the wind goes against the vacuuming and brings me more leaves and stuff. But it's definitely beginning to look a little bit better. I've actually got brave and opened up the shed at the back of my place, and I'm starting to put, trying to find things in there. The next goal I do have, though, is to actually bring out my garden tools from under my deck. I've had them under my deck all during the winter because I had to get rid of my garden shed. But I need to be able to start using those pretty soon. So I've got to bring them out and work out where I'm going to keep them. That's I got to find a new home. And the easiest way to do that is start bringing out and going, all right, can I get some big containers with locks on them that I can, I could get one of those bench things with a lock on it and put them all in there, which I think would be quite a good idea. The other thing I thought about was, they are mostly hanging stuff, things that you can hang. And I'm thinking it would be quite an idea to hang them on the back of my shed and build a little cupboard around them. I've got all my garden tools actually attached to my shed. The eaves come down and all my garden tools are hanging along the whole of the shed. And nobody has stolen them, so it looks like they're pretty safe there. Well, you know something, Becca is saying, and bless you for the kindness of that thought, Becca. Becca's saying maybe nobody you look up to ever told you that you can still be a fulfilled person if you don't accomplish every task that comes to your mind. I want to tell you that I am so aware of what I do in that way, Becca, that I have a program where I throw everything into it so that it gets it out of my mind. And I'm just going to quickly scroll through it so you can see. This is stuff that came out of my mind that I haven't done yet. Oh, the ones with dates attached to them only. That was all right. So Becca, these are the things I'm trying to work on at the moment. So you can understand there's probably a reason why I'm a bit tired. Now, obviously, I can't work on all of those. So the trick is that every day I sit down and try and work out, okay, what can wait another week? And I thought I was doing pretty well on that, but I just think I overdid it this week. There we are. That's it. But still feeling good. And what I do know is that playing with the garden is something, both inside and out, brings me great pleasure. All right, so Becca's saying, I'm partial to finding ways to especially enjoy what I'm proud of for each day of the month. Yeah. And, that's why you will hear me say that I literally try and work on just what's the next step. And all these steps are things that I want to do, but I know there's no way I'm going to do them. So if you listen to the broadcast, Becca, you will know that every week you will hear me say, next week, I would like to be able to accomplish this, 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 and this. And normally it's only about 3 things that I really want to concentrate on. And, the rest of it just seems to, as I'm walking around, there is so much that still needs to be done, I guess. And the same way as I got the horn up, Becca, and thought it really needs cleaning. And I went, they won't mind. And if they do, let them come and clean it for me. And the same, I felt badly because the horse brasses could do with the clean as well. But, that's not the end of the world. They've lived, they've been packed up a long time without being cleaned, and they'll be fine. And, I'm looking at the other brass things that are by my fireplace here, and they haven't been cleaned either. So that's a one-day job that I will need to get. Anybody got any good tricks for cleaning brass? This will be a good time to tell me, just for when I do it. Oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know that I want you to find out, when did you last clean your hairbrush? Becca's saying that because, to be honest, as a society, we put such a low value of speaking out about what we're proud of. I think it serves both the speaker and the audience as a motivational aid. If you notice, Becca, I make a point of talking about my accomplishments with my flowers and everything. If you notice, every week I'm showing you what next steps I have done for that very reason, because I do believe it's healthy to say I like to play with experiments, as you know, and it's like, can I grow a cabbage from the bottom end that I would normally throw away? The answer is yes, and I can even start feeding myself from it now. I got to the stage this week where I literally, every time I wanted to make a salad, I walked out with the bowl, Becca, and I just went, I'll take a leaf there and a leaf there and a leaf there. And I started with that, and then I topped up with store-bought to bring it up to whatever level I wanted. But I am now halfway to filling that bowl with lettuce leaves. So I am so excited about that. To me, that is to be able to grow. Hang on a second. And I showed you the. Hang on, I just want to make sure I talk to you about this one, because this one is really where I'm going with this. Hold on one second. Did you see that I'm growing vegetables in a shoe, over-the-door shoe container? All right. And my goal is to have a complete salad bar growing there. All right. And this is now off the side of my deck, not on my deck. This is off the side of my deck. And then my next goal, once I've got that going and sustainable, you will notice that I'm reusing milk cartons and things. And these are just the red plastic cups that you get. But this is a recycled milk carton cut in half. So what I find is that once I have perfected this, all right, what I want to be able to do is to make them and then deliver them complete to my friends and go, there you go. Here is your salad for the summer. And just find somewhere to hang it. You know, literally be able to deliver it and go, there you go. All right? So I don't know why I find that such fun. And you will notice that even, okay, here, this was the television thing all set up now. Oh, by the way, I sent pictures to the insurance people to show them that the gutter was missing because they still hadn't done anything. How many of you remember the rose, the lady gardener? Look at that. It's growing beautifully this year. And I planted, I also did plant some stuff. And here was my spring garden at the front of my place. I was amazed. What I was amazed at, not only that all those bulbs came up again, but do you see that all the bluebells actually are poking out underneath that? And it looks so pretty. As you look at it, it looks really pretty with the spring flowers. But then it's the little row of baby hyacinths that are, see them? That crept underneath. And I'm going, that looks so pretty. And I noticed that my neighbors, as they walk past, they really stop and have a look. So this is what this looks like when I'm not sitting there. So I was pretty happy with it. Okay, guys. My experiment about the inability of Amazon drivers to read instructions. I've got this instruction that says, Amazon drivers, please leave parcels beyond this door. You know, behind, I've got an open door and a screen door. Please leave it behind the door or on the deck. I think I had about 8 deliveries last week, and 3 of them could not read. And it's now, I've decided to make it a fun thing where I'm not getting frustrated by it anymore. I'm just laughing and going, isn't that interesting? They still can't read. Because, it's just like, really? I think I'm going to increase the size of the instruction and see if that helps. Or maybe, I know, you have to go up 3 steps. What do? They just chuck it onto the step. And they don't get that far. I think what I'm going to do is actually put a notice on each rung of the step. So they have to read it as they walk up the steps. Of course, they probably just throw it onto the deck. We'll see. How about this one? Becca, here is a quote that goes to the comment that you made to me. Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 hours in the day. Oh, all right. So it isn't that I don't mean to relax. It's that once I'm doing something, something else catches my eye. So you're right. So Becca, it's the focus on relaxing that is a problem for me. I get distracted into being a human doing, not a human being. So thank you for that reminder. I will bear that in mind this week. Does anybody else relate to that? Or am I the only one that gets caught on that one? Jody's saying, same here. She's about the Amazon driver thing. She said, there's a sign, do not leave packages on wheelchair ramp. And guess where they all put them? Yep. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's like, but I've started to complain now, Jody. I write to the man. Hang on a second. The source people, not the people who've delivered it. I write to the source people and say, I need you to know that your delivery people are not reading instructions. And, I literally will send them pictures. This is a picture taken from the road. This is the picture they left me. They did it from the driveway. If they can see it from the driveway, so can all my neighbors and anybody else driving by. Is this what you want? And by the way, and I will then zoom in to that picture and say, there is a sign that says, please leave behind this door. And they didn't. Becca's saying that I am a human doer, for sure. Yes, I am a human doing rather than being. Becca is saying, aren't they trained for such times when a note is left? Yes. But obviously, I'm always going to put curtains, where you actually have to... You have to open the curtains and that will be the sign. Oh, I know. I've got my whiteboard on the deck at the moment. Maybe I will write it in dirty great letters on my whiteboard. Maybe they will see that. Well, and what I found though is I've decided that now I'm going to sort of do another couple of signs, and I'm not going to quit now until somebody starts to listen. I want them to know this one, make sure you do what she says because she complains every time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do. How about this one? The most efficient way to live reasonably is every morning to make a plan of one's day and every night to examine the results. Hi there, Rinsky. How are you doing? Good to see you. And no, it's on. I have a deck. It's covered, so it wouldn't wash off in the rain at all. That's what I love about my beautiful deck. Yeah. How about this one? I love this quote. I love this quote because it's about accountability. It says, "The bad news is that time flies. The good news is you are the pilot." So I am taking full accountability for the fact that I wear myself out, and that I know that the reason I do is not because the intent isn't good. The reason is because I get distracted, as Becca so rightly says. But understandably so. How many of you can understand that, unpacking my life for the second time in a year, I want to get it done. Right? I want to get it done. I want to go back to living again, not packing and unpacking. And it was one of the things that I'm trying to warn Jeannie about, because I am pretty certain, Jeannie, you're going to run into the same issue. And so take it easy. I am definitely aware that I will pay the price if I don't listen to my body. It doesn't mean I have to stop doing things. I just need to do a little bit less. And, and when I think about it, just thinking about it now, not only did I do the things I told you about, but, I was doing touch up of paint and I did the roof and I did the garden umbrella. And yeah, I did quite a bit. And I moved chairs down off the deck. Yeah. So I was quite busy this week. Now then, how about this quote? It is not enough to be busy. The question is, what are we busy about? Right? What are we busy about? So the other question that I have, am I busy doing things that bring me pleasure? And if so, that's not altogether bad. Do you know what I'm saying? If I think unpacking 20 boxes was too much for me. But if I had spent that time pottering around with, flowers and things, I probably would have, been fine. It was, when you pack a box and it is full of crud, and your decision is, do I throw this away or do I try and find a place to put it? And it's the trying to find a place that is a challenge for me. Anyway, I'll do it because I need to. It has to be done. All right. And the answer to Becca's question about the Good News Bears is that was a 1976 film called The Bad News Bears. It was about a team of boys. Why do I think it was about a sports as well? They were playing some sports, weren't they? Well, Becca's saying, good for you, Sal. I've often worried about your overexertion. I'm not sure that, I guess in a way, maybe that is true. I think what I'm going to concentrate on is going back to just doing 2 boxes a day. I know I was on a mission to get my bedroom clear of boxes. And that was a big thing for me. So, yeah, now it's a case of what am I going to do with the stuff I've unpacked? Oh, I wonder if any of you have had this problem. I wanted to order something up from IKEA. And every time I got to a certain place, it stalled me and it wouldn't let me go any farther. And I'm going, this is obviously user error, but I don't know why. So you try to get the online help and guess what? It's all automated. So that's not what I wanted. And then, even the online help said, this is what you do. And I'm going, yeah, I've done that 3 times. And, at the end of it, and this is where I noticed shopping has changed. At the end of it, I thought, something, let me go to Amazon. Because I don't have this problem with Amazon. Right? How many of you understand what I mean? It's just like, you can have a website that glitches in the middle, but really, if I don't have that problem when I buy off Amazon. Why is that? Amazon, you just go click, 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 click. Thank you very much. Done. Same with Wish. Yep, click, 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 click. But have you noticed this? Have you noticed that Amazon is starting to carry a lot of the Wish stuff now? And I have now learned that things that I would normally go to Wish for, I'm going to Amazon and going, how much is Amazon selling this for? And is the extra $10 worth it to not have to wait for 2 months? And guess what? A couple of times I've said yes. Oh, Becca, you were talking about the beads. All right, the water beads. I've started planting seeds in water beads. I've been doing a lot more reading about that stuff. And yeah, absolutely. It's the same stuff that you were talking about. And what I found out, Becca, that apparently I'm not the first person to think of this. And one of the reasons it was originally developed was to Orbeez. Thank you, Jody. Apparently, one of the reasons that it was originally developed was to be to put in with soil to keep soil moist. That was its original thing. And did you know that they also put it in diapers and things now to absorb moisture, which is why diapers, get heavy and sag. It's because all the water beads are expanded and, then they become heavier. So that was one of the things where I'm going, yeah, I know, Becca, but you see, you ask these questions and then my mind goes, that was a really interesting question to which I didn't have all the answers I would have liked. Let me go and do a bit of research. And I did. And it's really interesting because they actually recommend growing things in water beads for that reason. So if any of you are thinking of going on vacation, remember those days? If any of you are thinking of going on vacation and don't want your plants to dry out while you're on vacation, make sure you put them in more soil with a lot of those beads at the bottom, because the beads will slowly release the moisture and then they will water your plants for you. To put them right at the bottom is probably a really good idea, to put a nice layer right at the bottom, or put your pot in another container that's got those beads in, because then it'll draw the moisture from there. I'll be doing some experiments on that one, people. How about this one then? You get to decide where your time goes. You can either spend it moving forward or you can spend it putting out fires. You decide, and if you don't decide, others will decide for you. Right, and Jody's saying about the plants, right? She's saying that's a great idea. I wouldn't need to ask a friend to stop by and water the plants while on vacay. So this would be the time, Jody, to get some and do the experiments and go, if I put the pot in, in a bowl with those in it, maybe a couple of inches, how long does it take for it to absorb that moisture? All right, so Becca's saying, I wonder if it's the same process as rice baths on wet phones, right? So you all know about that. If you get your phone wet, throw it into a bag of rice. Just get a baggie, Ziploc bag, and put rice in it, and then put your phone in, because the rice will absorb the moisture. So it is incredible how that works. The other thing is, don't ever throw away those magical little packets you get in your parcels. You know the ones I mean. The ones that absorb moisture. Gel, silica gel. That's what that's what the bead things are. Yeah, the silica packets. Don't ever throw those away. Very, very important things to keep. I reuse mine all the time. How about this one? Time equals life, and therefore waste your time and you've wasted your life. Or master your time and you master your life. All right. And by the way, I've never claimed to be perfect, right? That's one thing you all know about me. I've never said that I was perfect. And what I realized was what I thought was being productive this week turned out to be too much. So I'll remember that for next week. Stephen King said this: amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get on and go to work. Right? Becca's saying, I've never kept those, and I assume they were only for the initial transport of a product. No, I keep mine all the time, and I'm trying to think. Jody, what do you use yours for? I'm trying to think. I used a couple of them recently on something. Oh, I know. I had dried some breadcrumbs. That was right. I had dried some breadcrumbs and let it cool. And then I'm going, just in case there's still some moisture in there, and I hucked in a couple of those packets. So if there was any moisture left in those breadcrumbs, the silica would absorb it. I thought this was a fun quote, guys. Let me know if you like it. It says, procrastination is the art of keeping up with yesterday and avoiding today. Yeah, Jody's saying about those little silica packets is right. She said, I have a stash of them and I use them when storing food. There you go. And part of, I think what's happening to me as well is that I really want to start doing stuff in my craft room. And that is still in need of quite a lot of organization. Everything is out of boxes, but I still haven't got things working yet. And so I'm going, I think what I need to do is not worry so much about unpacking everything for a while and start getting the things that I want to have. Oh, no, I know why I'm still unpacking stuff. I haven't found the vanilla yet. How many of you remember I was making vanilla essence for people? And also, I'm looking for a particular curtain that was hanging up in a room that I haven't been able to find yet. It's there somewhere. How about that? This one. I like this one. Jody, I think this one is for you as well. A plan is what? A schedule is when. And it takes both a plan and a schedule to get things done. So Kimmy's saying, I have a box problem too, but it's storage for things I'm getting rid of. All right, so what are you waiting for? To take it to the Sally Ann or whatever? I have found the answer to that, Kimmy, if you're interested. Because it's definitely the way that I'm learning to do things. So you got these things in boxes, but now you need to get rid of them. Is that right? Did we understand the problem correctly? I so relate. I'm just waiting for an answer on that one. I have found, and I don't know about the rest of you, I found a long time ago, I remember I was on a management thing. And, it's funny the things that you remember. I always said if you go to any training and you come away with one good idea, it was worth the day. And I remember going to one, for example, where they came up with that expression, sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield. All right. And I always thought, it was worth spending the money just to hear that quote, because boy, did I relate to that. And I kept thinking, that is so true. Sometimes you're the bug, but sometimes you're the windshield. And so, to me, that was one thing. But the other thing I learned was, when they said to me, you will always have time for the things for which you have tickets. And what they gave as an example was, imagine that you've got tickets to see the one person in the world you would really like to meet. And I don't know who that might be. Maybe it's the Dalai Lama. Maybe it is Bruce Springsteen. Maybe it is Duran Duran. But it doesn't matter who it is. But if you had tickets for Thursday at 10 o'clock, that you were going to get to meet that person, do you think you would make it there? All right. Do you think that you would reorganize your life and make it there on time? And the answer is, you bet. Jody would do anything to meet Duran Duran, right? I know that. So, to me, it's like, if you think about that, part of the problem is that we don't book the time in cement. All right. When I say in cement, we just keep saying, oh, I'll do that someday, instead of saying, what I found, this is just a trick that I thought I would share with you because it does work for me now. I find that picking a certain day to get out in my car and go and do things is a good idea. And nearly always it's Thursday. Right. And I try and book appointments on a Thursday so that I get out. And while I'm out, so that I don't waste gasoline and everything else, while I'm out, I do the other things I need to do while I'm out and about. So, Kimmy, I notice you haven't answered me since you made that comment. But what I'm saying is, why don't you keep the box, at least one of them, in your car? And so the next time you go out, you can just reroute via the Sally Ann and drop it off. All right. And, if it were already in your car, in other words, don't keep the boxes in your house, keep them in the trunk of your car. And then you would always know that, hey, I've only got half a box, but let me drop off half a box while I'm out today. What do you think? Anybody relate to that? How about this one? We all get caught up in daydreams. We get distracted or simply lose our focus. But getting the most out of your time means being laser focused when you need to be. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, I have managed to stop myself by saying, Sal, I know you would like this done quickly, but really you have the rest of your life to unpack it. And there will be some things that, Yvonne will be unpacking after you're long gone, or just picking up the box and hucking it. And no, Yvonne couldn't do that. She'd have to open it and see what was in it. She's OCD. And so, do you all agree with me, however, and this is the lesson for today, that beating up on myself because I overdid it is not going to make me better? Beating up on myself because I wasn't feeling strong enough to continue, that's the other thing, is not going to help. What's going to help is that I accept the fact I probably need a couple days off, and then, and only then, till I get back to work again, slowly. And to be satisfied with slow progress. Jody, with all that's happened to you, you must have learned this art, that even though you want to do so much, your body doesn't allow you to. And there is a lesson for us all there. And yet I'm pretty certain that you likewise want to do way more than your body wants you to. So, but I'm quite honestly, I am happy for what I've done. Yeah, I'm the ocular migraine was okay, fine, now it's time, you have to stop. But, quite honestly, I'm quite happy with what I did. I feel good about what I did. I feel accomplishment. So it's not all bad, people. I just needed to cancel a broadcast. That was all. So, but thank you for caring. And I hope you're all going, what. So Becca asked a good question, and maybe we can just double check with everybody at the moment that's online. Tell me something. What are your warning signals that you've overdone it? For me, definitely, I start to feel a bit nauseous, which is why I think that it's a blood sugar thing. And then I realized that I was nauseous enough that I thought, I better just check whether I've got some serious blood sugar thing going on. And I took that and it was fine. And I went, oh gosh, that's not good. And the next thing, the vision split. And so I went, okay, fine. That's definitely stopped everything. Jody's saying it aggravates me sometimes, but I've learned I must work within my limits. It's not the easiest thing mentally, but it is important. Yeah. So let me ask you, how many of you are glad that I got this done? Right? And it's not going to fall anymore. It's not about, does this make a difference to anybody? Yeah. Funny enough, it does. Thank you very much, Pat, for my quilts. And this is, as you know, this is my heritage, or part of it. And, that makes me happy. It's okay. All right. So Jeannie's saying when she overdoes it, she gets backache. Yeah, I got it. And headaches. And Becca's saying mine is back pain to where that's all I can focus on. Yeah. And Becca is remembering that this is a return to being normal for me. All right. This tells me that I'm nearly back to where I was. All right. But now I'm thinking, I put that horn in the wrong place. It should be there. Now I'm just going to move me for the next broadcast. I will move me down, and because that looks nice like that, doesn't it? And Jody's saying it's lovely to see those items in the background again. We're home, everyone. Yes. And I also found the picture of my home from many, many, many years ago. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to put it right here. But I still will decide on that. Oh, okay. So Kimmy's saying that she can't say what the box problem. But do you understand what I'm saying about the box problem? If you got a box problem of stuff that you want to give away, I can't remember what that is, Kimmy. So maybe write to me privately so I can remember and then help if I can. Yes, it used to be on this side, which is the right of me, actually. Oh, no, you're right. It was on the left. Ah. So if I moving it to there. Okay, I tell you what I could do. I could move the horn to there. I could move that above me with the picture behind my head, and then the horse brass is on this side. What do you think? Of course, I got to make another hole in the wall, people. Not the end of the world. I've got the paint now. But maybe not the first thing I do this week. Maybe I don't even do it for a while, but it is worth rethinking that. Yeah, I do. I agree with you. If I'm going to do the Sunday broadcast from here again, then the horn should be on this side and the horse brass is on this. And Jody's going, yes, after a 2-day break, that would be a great plan. Becca, it's my pleasure to make you smile again, and thank you. And thank you for helping me come up with the answer, because I realize now that I'm doing the broadcast, a stupid place to put the horn is right behind my head. Duh. Why didn't I think of that? Because sometimes in life you need to make the mistake before you learn the better plan. And then I can put the picture right behind my head, which will make me happy. Because I will see it, you won't. There we go. Good. Everybody happy now? So again, remember this though. Jody, am I right in saying that there are days that you have been cutting out things or ironing things that you knew you did a little bit more than you should have done, but at the end of the day, you were happy that you did, even though you paid the price for it? Let me find out about that. Because what I'm trying to say to you is, yeah, I'm not feeling 100%, but I really don't mind. It's like I got a lot done this week that I was proud of. And I felt accomplished this week. And I felt really proud. You know what else made me really proud? Benji was telling me that he is also starting to save the bottoms of lettuces and things that he is buying from the store because of what he's seen me doing. All right, and so Jody is also confirming this. Yes, I did overdo it. At the end of the day, I was still happy because I had accomplished what I did. Yeah, and I think, that's like, yeah, we paid the price, but if I did it every day, it would be dangerous. But I just overdid it a bit, people, because I'm not perfect. All right, so have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves. Do what you want to do. And if you want to push yourself a little bit, that's also okay. You're starting a new job? What are you doing, Becca? Still at the same company, though. Well, I want to thank you all. And isn't it wonderful news that Chris's dad has recovered from COVID? I was so glad that Chris dropped by and let me know that before the broadcast, because that to me was really important. And wasn't it nice to see Wesley? And thank you for remembering, Jody. Kimmy, good luck with the keyboard. Enjoy it. I love mine. What I love most of all is how stuff just falls off it. It is definitely great. All right, Becca, so what are you going to be doing next, if you can tell us? And by the way, just before I go, I wanted to say my heart goes out to the families of the sailors in Indonesia where they have not been able to locate that submarine, and therefore they have lost all those sailors. And also for the people who were caught up in the fire in India. Very sad. So you're going to be at the hotel by Friday. That's wonderful, Jeannie. I'll please remind me to check with you on how that is on Friday, in case I forget. But I'm delighted to hear that. Oh, you're going to be a restaurant driver. That is awesome. That's an up and coming business. I think that will continue after the pandemic quite honestly. I think people it's one of the things that's changed in our society. I still haven't done it. Do you know that? I've been here. I still have not ordered food to have it delivered. And I don't know why that is. I don't do that. It's just like the same thing as I notice even when I'm out and about and I think, oh, I think I'll pick up some poutine or something. I think I did it once. Every other time I think, Sal, go home, cut up a potato. Make your own. Oh, Jody's saying that they did it once last year. Jeannie, I think you do it occasionally, from what I remember. Becca's saying on your rest days, maybe make it a point to. Yeah. Oh, that would be quite. How much do I have to tip a driver person? It's been a long time. Because it's not just the cost of the food, right? You then got to tip the driver as well. So how much do you tip the driver, people? Teach me, just in case I do it. Wouldn't that be fun? Jeannie's saying they did it once and they got all the food wrong. So it's an experiment. And Kimmy's saying the tips are a lot. Okay, that doesn't help me. What percentage would you, let's say that the bill is $20. How much would you tip these days? How much should you tip these days? Oh, so that app you do online when you order? Huh. You think 10%, but they get upset? Becca's saying a couple of dollars, she'd be happy. Maybe I should do the experiment and let you know. How about that? I would normally tip, if I'm in a restaurant, I would normally tip 15%. But my question is, that's knowing what the service was. What if you don't know whether the service is any good? They want more? Listen, I want Brad Pitt. Doesn't mean I'm going to get him. Be thankful that you got anything would be my answer. Let me go. I am going to go. What am I cooking this evening? Steak. I'm going to make myself some steak tonight. By the way, another thing I did, I forgot about that. I made myself little protein pucks. I took some beef and pork minced up, ground beef and pork together, just a pound. And then I put in a lot of vegetables that I had in the freezer. When I have when you cut the end, nearly the end of a vegetable, I cut one more bit and then I throw that in the freezer. And I keep that for whenever I'm making things like soups or whatever. I just chop it up and then put it in soups and put it in, if I'm making shepherd's pie, I will mince it up and everything. So anyway, I did all of that and I made these little protein bites and I cooked them all. Why? So that I can decide every day, do I want to have protein bites with a little bit of mayo on them? Or do I want to crumble these protein bites over a salad? Or do I want to, actually take 4 of them and put a layer of mashed potato on top and make shepherd's pie? You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to get creative about what I'm doing. Becca's saying, I'm signing off for the night. Thanks for the laughs. Gonna watch the Oscars. Love you all. Enjoy the Oscars. Good night, everybody. Have fun. And please enjoy your life. Do what you want to do. It's your life, not anybody else's. Bye-bye for now.